Strength ran out of Zhou Jifeng's legs, and he fell back on his buttocks. The gap between them was too tremendous. So much so that he had completely given up the thought of attacking. "You've overestimated yourself." Lu Zhou snorted and slowly turned around. "Calm down. I can't let him see my weakness. You killed my master. I will avenge him even if the cost is my life." Zhou Jifeng clenched the sword tightly. "You are wasting your time." Zhou Jifeng rushed forward with his sword again, moving as fast as a gust of wind. An expert in the divine court realm was incomparable with any ordinary cultivator. At this critical moment, "Master," a blue figure flashed in from outside. Meanwhile, Zhou Jifeng's heart trembled and his movement slowed down. Bam! The blue figure threw out a beam of energy and knocked him flying away. As a result, Zhou Jifeng coughed out a mouthful of blood and fell on the ground. "How dare you sneak attack my master? Are you blind?" Little Yuana landed, showing her teeth with a murderous smile on her face. "Stand down, Yuana." "Master, he attacked you. I want to cut him into pieces to help you vent your anger." When Zhou Jifeng heard that, his face turned pale as a sheet. Sure enough, the 9 disciples of Evil Sky Pavilion were all extremely ferocious. What he knew about them came from rumors, which were full of exaggeration and falsehood after all. But he found that the rumors were quite true when he saw it with his own eyes today, because even this cute-looking little girl was so scary. Zhou Jifeng was a little regretful about coming here to get his revenge. Meanwhile, Lu Zhou was poised on the surface, but he kept sighing in his heart. This old body is really weak. When he was in the peak form, he did not even pay attention to someone like Zhou Jifeng. But just now, he was nearly killed by this guy. Fortunately, his little disciple arrived in time. Otherwise, his 5 critical block cards would not last him for too long, and he would have to waste another peak form experience card. Lu Zhou was not surprised that Zhou Jifeng, with his cultivation base of the divine court realm, could sneak up the mountain, since the shield was not yet repaired, and his few disciples' attention was somewhere else. He just did not expect that the other would be so bold as to sneak attack him. His eyes fell on Zhou Jifeng. Name, Zhou Jifeng. Race, human. Cultivation base. Early Dao shaping stage of the divine court realm. Status, enemy, hostility level 85%. I killed your master, and it is reasonable for you to come to me for revenge. However, you have overestimated yourself, and this is no different from committing suicide. There is no point in doing so. Lu Zhou sat down slowly, searching his mind for memories related to the kid. It happened that Ji Tiandao did cross paths with the latter in the past. You began to temper your body when you were 8 years old, stepped into the mystic enlightening realm at the age of 9, sense condensing realm at 13, Brahmasi realm at 18, and divine court realm at 20. This made you a rare genius, even in the cultivation world. You could totally wait for a few more years before you came to me for revenge. Why must you come to get yourself killed now? Zhou Jifeng really regretted it. He was a genius known to the whole Heavenly Sword sect. Meanwhile, little Yuana mumbled, "Master, you call this a rare genius? When I was 10 years old, I acknowledge you as my master, and I'm 15 years old this year, but I have already stepped into the divine court realm." Lu Zhou. When Zhou Jifeng heard that, the little bit of pride had just now vanished in an instant. "Don't interrupt." Lu Zhou glared at her. Little Yuana stuck out her tongue and stepped aside. Then Lu Zhou continued, "Zhou Jifeng, do you know why I didn't kill you? Old villain, you don't have to be hypocritical. Whether you want to kill or torture me, do it now." Zhou Jifeng put on a brave face. Lu Zhou shook his head. "You really think Luo Changfeng is a gentleman?" "What do you mean?" Zhou Jifeng glared at him. "What an ignorant young man. You weren't even born when I met Luo Changfeng. What are you trying to say? If I told you that the person who killed your father was Luo Changfeng, would you believe it?" Ding. A hidden side quest is triggered. Instigate Zhou Jifeng's defection. Hint. Everything you do has the potential to trigger hidden quests. This system has quite unexpected features. Lu Zhou thought to himself. Fortunately, He was old now, and his skin was saggy and wrinkled, so nobody could see the change in his expression, unless it was an obvious one. When Zhou Jifeng heard that, he shouted furiously, "Bullsh asterisk T! Don't you try to sow discord, old villain. Everyone in the world knows that Si Wuya, the seventh disciple of Golden Court Mountain, is a despicable man good at calculation. A pity that such a mean trick is useless against me." Lu Zhou shook his head and said, "What an ardent but ignorant youth. In this case, I will tell you everything. When I visited Yi Province many years ago, I stopped at the Zhang family for a rest. Coincidentally, the young lady of the family was giving birth. The newborn boy was born with extraordinary bone structure and amazing talents. I intended to take him in as my disciple, so I gave his parents 3 days to consider. But regardless of their decision, I had decided to bring the boy with me. However, the next day, the whole Zhang family was slaughtered. It was already too late when I arrived. Later on, the whole cultivation world thought I was the one who slaughtered the Zhang family. I've killed countless people in my life, and one more murder case or one less false charge would not change that fact. All the orthodox cultivators in the world thought I did it, but nobody knew it was actually done by Luo Changfeng. Fighting back the pain, Zhou Jifeng sneered. You can continue to make up the story. Lu Zhou knew that the other would not believe it, so he gave him a heavy dose. You have a birthmark on your shoulder. When you were born, the inside of your body was wet and cold. It was I who helped you to get rid of that, and it is also the reason why there is always a stream of evil energy in your body. Your surname is Zhang, and you are the son of that Zhang family. Zhou Jifeng was taken aback. Few people knew he had a birthmark on his shoulder. So how did this old villain know? Considering that you are too young, if I tell you the whole truth, I'm afraid you will not be able to bear the impact. Well, you may leave now. Sometimes a retreat was a way to advance, and what happened next had proven that right. Although Zhou Jifeng did not believe it, he still said, I don't believe what you said, old villain. Don't hope that such a despicable and mean trick will work on me. If you dare to slander my master again, I will chop you into pieces now. Do you believe it? Lu Yuan'er raised a hand. He suddenly felt that the old villain was not as terrible as he had imagined, but this little girl was rather scary. As the saying went, nice people are bullied, and the docile horses are ridden. Lu Zhou suddenly realized that when dealing with youth like this, he could not be too gentle. So he laughed and said, Your master, Luo Changfeng, had slaughtered the whole Zhang family, raped your mother, and abducted you. 30 years ago, he broke through the nascent divinity tribulation realm. The realm is divided into 3 major stages, Tao Primal, Chaotic Primal, and Tao Fusing. In the Tao Fusing stage, there's a way to advance. He was not yet finished when Lu Yuan interrupted. Master, I know about this. With a powerful cultivation base, a Tao fusing expert can devour another person's energy essence and cultivation base and fuse them as one. That is why the stage is called Tao fusing. Am I right, Master? Lu Zhou paid her no mind, so little Yuan'er immediately bowed her head and dared not speak again. Meanwhile, Zhou Jifeng frowned and kept shaking his head. Lu Zhou went on. In the whole Heavenly Sword sect, only your cultivation path is exactly the same as Luo Changfeng's. Do you still think there's nothing wrong with him? There was no need for him to finish the rest. Although these words could not immediately change Zhou Jifeng or make him believe, they at least aroused his doubts, and that was more than enough. He would verify the rest himself. I know you don't believe it. When you get back, go and ask your master's master. Little Yuan'er, see him off. Lu Zhou said faintly, Master, surely you are not letting him go just like this? He had attacked you. Little Yuan'er pursed her lips. Don't be presumptuous. Hearing that, little Yuan'er could say nothing else but stamp her foot lightly. Then she turned to Zhou Jifeng as she snorted and said, You are a stupid pig. Does my master need to lie to you? Wouldn't it be better for him to just kill you? Fool. His mind was in a mess now, and he kept repeating, I don't believe. Instinctively, after little Yuan'er sent Zhou Jifeng away, Lu Zhou glanced at the quest menu. He knew that the side quest would not be completed immediately, but It was only a matter of time. If Zhou Jifeng were clever enough, he would investigate what he had said, unless he was mentally retarded. Master, why didn't you kill him? Little Yuan asked as soon as she returned to the evil sky pavilion. But Zhou shook his head in response. The desire to kill in this little girl's heart was too strong. Just like her senior brothers and sisters, she had been heavily influenced by Ji Tiandao. Zhou stood up and clasped his hands behind his back as he said, "Killing people is not the only way to solve a problem. But, Master, you sent me down the mountain to kill many orthodox cultivators just now. They were sneaking around Golden Court Mountain, and they deserve to be killed." Little Yuan said angrily. Speechless, Zhou knocked her on her head and said, "Don't argue with me." Ouch! Did I say you can't kill people? Killing people is not the only way to solve a problem, but it is always one of the ways. Oh! Little Yuan did not quite understand that. Right then, Zhou heard a system prompt. Ding! Your disciples are doing evil, and your merit points will be deducted soon. Damn it! The merit points can be deducted. Although he tried to be as calm and poised as possible, he almost collapsed at that moment and cursed. Go get your senior brothers and sister here. Yes, Master. While frowning, Zhou asked, System, I have only so few merit points. Why do you still want to deduct them? Of course. The system still did not respond. It seemed to convey that while he could obtain merit points from his disciples, the merit points could also be deducted when his disciples did evil. But what had they done to be considered evil? Before very long, the three villainous disciples, Duanmu Sheng, Mingshi Yin, and Zhao Yu, walked into Evil Sky Pavilion with their heads bowed, while being led by Lil Yuaner, as if nothing had happened. Greetings, Master. The three of them greeted at the same time. Tell me, what have you done just now? Zhou asked, his face expressionless. Master, we've been doing what you asked us to do, patrolling around Golden Court Mountain. We didn't do anything else. Mingshi Yin said, with an innocent look. Zhou said faintly, You should know my temper. I don't like anyone lying to me. When the trio heard that, their expressions changed slightly. The fourth disciple, Mingshi Yin, said hastily, We found some hunters in the southern foothills. Golden Court Mountain is not a place for them to hunt. So you attacked them? I'm sorry, Master. I should have killed them all. Mingshi Yin said, Zhou, Golden Court Mountain is famous in the cultivation world. So how could those hunters not know that? It is very likely that they are spies sent by those so-called orthodox sections. Master, I'll go and kill them all now. Mingshi Yin turned around and was about to leave when Zhou, somewhat speechless, said, Hold on. The shield has not yet been fully repaired, so it is normal for someone to accidentally trespass our land. You just have to drive them away and only attack when you discover someone with ill intentions, said Zhou. The three villainous disciples looked at each other and thought, Wait, this is not Master's usual routine. Shouldn't we kill those intruders and their families? This disciple will obey Master's order. Their loyalty was 68%, 62%, and 65% respectively. After that, they went to the foothills together. As soon as they left the Evil Sky Pavilion, they felt the pressure in their hearts disappear. The fifth disciple, Zhao Yu, smiled and said as she played with her hair, Master has suddenly become so gentle that I'm not used to it. Senior brothers, do you feel that Master has become different from before? Mingshi Yin, who boasted of being good at analysis, stroked his chin and said, Don't panic, don't blindly analyze, and learn from your mistakes. Maybe Master is trying a new routine. Yes, we just have to follow his orders and not ask too much. Duanmu Sheng did not care so much, and just made his way down the mountain. Before long, Zhou, who was resting in Evil Sky Pavilion, heard a prompt. You have saved 15 innocent lives and are rewarded with 150 merit points. You have received the worship of 14 people and are rewarded with 14 merit points. You have received the devout worship of one person and are rewarded with 10 merit points. Hint number 1. Devout worship has a 10x bonus, and ordinary worship does not have a bonus. Hint number 2. You will not get merit points again from the same worship. Hint number 3. Merit points will not be rewarded from worship that is deliberately planned. Zhou opened his eyes instantly. What? I can get merit points from worship? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Whenever someone knelt and bowed to him, he would actually receive merit points. Little Yuan, where are you? Yes, master. Clad in blue clothes, little Yuan darted in from outside. Inform your senior brothers and sister that they must treat innocent people kindly. Kindly? Little Yuan had a look of disbelief when she heard the word come out of her master's mouth. Go now. I'll inform them right now. Filled with doubts, little Yuan went to the foot of the mountain. When she told the 3 villainous disciples what Zhou had said, Zhou tripped herself and almost fell to the ground. 4th senior brother. There's something wrong with Master's new routine, no matter how his taste has changed. He would never ask us to treat others kindly. Mingshi looked at little Yuan and asked, Little junior sister, did Master really say that? Little Yuan nodded and said, Yes, those are Master's exact words. Treat innocent people kindly. We're finished. Mingshi paced back and forth. Old 4th, what do you mean by that? Duan Musheng asked while frowning. Master had done all the evil things in his life. So if he really wants to play with a new routine, he can only play with kindness. But that doesn't necessarily mean we are finished. Zhao Yu said with a smile. The problem is that I don't know how to be kind at all. Mingshi felt like weeping but had no tears. Looking at her helpless senior brothers and sister, Lil Yuan cleared her throat and said, Aren't you thinking too much? Their eyes fell on her at the same time. Since you are so close to Master, do you know some secret that we don't, Little Yuan? Aye, tell us quickly. There's no secret, but Master did tell me one thing. What is it? Killing people is not the only way to solve a problem. That gave the 3 disciples a pause. I knew it is not that simple. Although Master has a mighty cultivation base, he could never say something so deep. Mingshi slapped himself on the thigh. Meanwhile, at the Tiger Ridge Gang's headquarters, Chief, the derived Moon Palace wrote back. What does the letter say? Zhu Honggong was overjoyed. The palace master of the derived Moon Palace said that since the old villain of the Golden Court Mountain could kill Luo Changfeng, the sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect, with one move, it means that his cultivation base is recovered. Hence, he cannot help you. He also asks you to hide, as you are the weakest. Plop. Zhu Honggong fell to the ground. He felt a chill run down his back, while cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Why is this happening? How could Master be so powerful? Chief! Don't panic. Calm down. I'm still here. Why do you need to be so scared? Ding. You are rewarded with 50 merit points for taming Zhu Honggong. Zhou was rather puzzled when he heard the prompt. Why am I rewarded with merit points related to Zhu Honggong when I have done nothing to him? He glanced at his personal menu. Name, Zhou. Race, human. Cultivation base, mystic enlightening realm, heart aperture. Merit points, 244. Remaining life, 610 days. Items, GT on Dao Peak Form Card X2, Critical Block Card Passive X5. He was still extremely weak, although he found a new way to accumulate merit points. In the face of those items that cost at least 1,000 points, the merit points he had at the moment were a drop in the ocean. These merit points were merely enough for a few lucky draws, and nothing else. Lucky draw. Ding. This lucky draw costs 50 merit points. You have received a Witsard. Witsard is a unique and permanent mount. Zhou could not help widening his pair of cloudy old eyes as he exclaimed excitedly, A Witsard! It was a heaven-defying prize.